Good evening, everybody. You're watching the Dylan Asso Show. My name is Dylan Asso, and we have a great show for you guys tonight. I should have switched on my entrance, but I just can't think of anything else, and it's just been like that for a couple months. Today, we're going to be talking about, and we're pretty much just ending off me talking about the Andrew Wilson, Candace Owens whole beef, and I want to go deeper into it because there's a lot to talk about in terms of this situation. There's, like, after Charlie's death, after the right was supposed to unite, the brief uniting of the right. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Before I start, we're gonna be having a debate today. Me versus this guy who's supporting the war in Iran. That should be around 8:39, depending how long my fantasy football draft takes. It could be, I don't know how long, but so we have that. And then that's about it. That's about it for news. I didn't do a show yesterday because I was tired and just wouldn't be good. I'd rather just do a higher quality show today. Anyways, let's get into it. So, with this debate, right, I want to talk about it again because recency bias. You have that with recency bias, and you tend to think differently at the start compared to like a couple days after. I rewatched the debate for a little bit. I've watched a couple clips, and I would say Andrew did win. And I'm still staying strong on that. Andrew Wilson won that debate. It's a fact. The main reason why I think Andrew Wilson won the debate is this. Candace could not substantiate her claims, okay? She couldn't. She admitted that she had no evidence, right? When he was asking for positive evidence, she just said, well, I know for a fact I'm allowed to think, right? So you have that. There's not much good like Candace moments. The only two Candace moments that she has that was good was, I could tell you it, but I can't understand it for you, right? So that one, and the other one was him not being able to list the charges, which doesn't prove that she won the debate. Okay, that's a logical fallacy, right? It's a non sequitur. Anyway, so it's a non sequitur, right? Then everyone's saying he's appealing to the masses. The people in the audience, though, said that Andrew Wilson won. But just in terms of logically, I think Andrew Wilson won by a mile. I don't think she made any good claims at all. I think that she couldn't substantiate her claims. But there's also critiques I can give of Andrew, right? Andrew, his reasoning for not going to like the big things, like the things that we wanted to see, like the Egyptian planes, the Mormon cult, France, like all the other stuff, we didn't get to that. And Andrew's like, well, I didn't want to pressure her. I'm like, if she walked out, she would have been diminished, done, everything gone. She would have to be like pretty much ostracized if she ran out. I don't know why he didn't pressure her enough. There's many missed opportunities from Andrew. I mean, like he didn't pressure enough on the Israel stuff when she couldn't find any evidence. Same with like the France like coming after her. Her only evidence was a non-confirmed source, so that was something. He didn't pressure her enough, and I felt like he was playing defense a lot, right? And when he was on offense, he wasn't playing good offense like Andrew normally does. I usually say that Andrew's the best debater in the right? A lot of people say Nick. I disagree. I think Andrew's a better debater, but he also has more experience in terms of debating. Besides the point. I think they're both great debaters, but I think Andrew's a better debater. And the reason for this is this. That, like, Andrew has more experience. He's more diverse in topics. He can go and attack. He's the best at attacking. He's the best at, he can hold a defense. If you watch any debate, you can tell this guy's a really good debater. But the reason, I can't find actually a reason why he didn't have that normal Andrew, like, hostility in terms of debate, not being like hostile like ad homs, but like being hostile, like really like attackive on his offense when he was in the debate. Normal Andrew would have made her concede, honestly, in my opinion. And I was expecting a concession from Andrew, right? Andrew was gonna make her concede, but I didn't see. He didn't pressure her enough. And another thing I have to say about Andrew is that he was too good faith. I do agree. You are debating someone who does not have any good faith. She's not going to change her opinions because she does. She loses all the money. Her reputation goes to trash. She can never say she's wrong. And when Tyler Robinson is found guilty, she's still going to say it's not true, right? because she has a reputation and she can't break it. So that's what Candace and Andrew, he didn't. I'm always saying she. With Andrew, he just didn't. Again, I'm pissed off that he didn't pressure her enough. I'm just not happy about that. Like, I watched it live. I got up. I watched it. Right. And I'm like, he did not pressure her enough. Why didn't he pressure her enough? What's going on? Like, what are we doing here, Andrew? We're waiting for you. And I was watching the Steven Crowder fact checking and stuff like that. And he's right. What Steven Crowder says that he should have said, do you have any evidence for Israel being inside it? Oh, nope. Okay. Moves on to the next topic. There was like the Utah Mormons. Any evidence for that? Nope. Okay. Do you have any evidence that France was involved in it? Nope. Okay. How about the Egyptian planes? No. Okay. All right. Or you ever gonna correct yourself in the Egyptian planes because she was wrong and said she was gonna correct herself and never did. Right? Any evidence that Erica Kirk is involved? No. Okay. And you do rapid fire, but at that time, I'm like, okay, well, Andrew's a more skilled debater. He just didn't. He just never attacked enough. Right? So that's what I have to say about that. I think it was rough. I think Andrew could have, again, attacked more, been on offense. Even with that, I still think he won, right? Like, he still won the debate. That's a fact. That's an objective fact that he won the debate. The only reason why Candace won those polls is because she has a much bigger follower base, by far. That's a fact. Like, her follower base is hundreds. Is it 100 times? No, like 10 times. Almost like 10, 15 times more than Andrew's. Right? Because Andrews is really niche. Candace is like I don't know, like every woman on the right, pretty much. If you're a woman on the right, you probably like Candace Owens. Right? So she has a bigger follower base and bigger niche. And it was bound to happen. That's why everyone's quoting that one poll after the debate. And as I said, like, she won 60-30. The real people watching the debate said that Andrew Wilson won, but also has appeal to masses doesn't mean he won. Like, if you look at, like, again, if you're just like an average person, you kind of just say that Andrew won. You kind of have to, because where did Candace win? Like, you can show me those little sass moments. Doesn't mean she won the debate. If you don't know the 7 charges, doesn't mean you won the debate. That's a logical fallacy. I forgot which one. That might be a non sequitur. I'm gonna keep it honest with you. That might be a non sequitur. Because that just doesn't make any sense. Because he couldn't name the 7 charges, he lost. It's okay, dude. And then people are saying that she dog walked him. Like, where did she dog walk with him? I don't think Andrew dog walked Candace. Like, most Andrew fans say that. Most people that sided with Andrew said that he didn't like dog walker. But the Candace fans are, because of the cult. Right? And I was looking at Nick's tweet. I can't bring it up because I think they will censor me. I should have prepared more in terms of like tweets, but I want to read it out to you if I can find my phone. Right? I want to read that tweet out to you because it is definitely worth looking at, and this actually proves my point in terms of like what I'm trying to say or been thinking about for the past couple of days. Let me just find the tweet here. Right? Yeah. So right here, that debate was basically unwatchable. But what is truly striking is how Charlie Kirk has become a background character in his own endless soap opera of his own murder. The story now revolves around the raging narcissist Candace Owens and the mass psychosis she has induced. That's a fact. That is a fact. Right? Like, Charlie has become a background character. That's why when Knowles declined the moderation, I agree with that. He had every right to. He doesn't want Charlie becoming a background character. Like, he's a background character in his own murder. No one even cares what happened to Charlie anymore. They just want to know who killed him and want to make some new endless theory to make them more money. Like, that is all they care about. Right? And that's all this is done. Again, it's crazy to say that this guy's a background character in his own murder. Like, it makes no sense to me, right? It makes no sense. And it's actually really sad to see that a guy that was, influenced people so much is just tarnished to this to this pretty much, whereas death doesn't mean anything anymore. There's three things that the death means anymore. You have the majority of people. There's a majority of people who fall into these two categories, and there's the third option, right? The first option is that you hate Charlie and you celebrate his death, and you do Kirkify memes, right? Because you have no human dignity at all. I'm sorry if you did that. If you made memes of his death, you have no human dignity. You're an awful person, right? And I have no care for you, right? Then you have the second point. Now, the second point people are the people that are like, well, I don't think the government thing, and I'm going to try to tarnish his death. That's pretty much the second part, right? The second part is that where like Israel killed Charlie Kirk, Tyler Robinson did it, he was a patsy, and then you have the third group of people that were people like me, who or Nick, or actually most of the Daily Wire, which is crazy, that are saying no, this doesn't make any sense, right? And I have some human dignity, and I'm not going to celebrate his death. And the two groups are awful people, right? Because group one, obviously the people that celebrate Charlie Kirk's death, this is why I think I cited in my video that we should not unite with the left. Because for this one reason that we should not unite with the left is that they celebrated Charlie Kirk's death. And just to think about this, you saw a man who had a family, kids, wife, a big business. He just got shot in the neck in front of like a 1,000 people and millions online. And the first thing you see is, or your first emotion is, I'm going to celebrate that death. Like, are you an evil person? Like, honestly, you are an evil person. And you actually least expect this to come from the left. You know why? Because they yap about human empathy all the time. They LARP to the left they LARP to the right that, well, you guys don't have basic human empathy. You guys don't care for people. And meanwhile, Charlie was assassinated in front of 1,000 people and millions online to see it. They proceeded to celebrate. Proceeded to do that. And they still yap basic human empathy. They still yap it. They made Kirkify memes. I'll never forget that. We can never forget that. If you're on our side, you can never forget what they did on September 11th. You can never forget. We can never forget this, right? Then they proceed to, raid ICE centers. And pretty much now, ever since 9/10, they have gone on an endless winning streak, mainly because of Trump. And my second point, which is these conspiratards, which I know I'm copying Nick, shut up. These idiots who are saying that Israel killed Charlie Kirk, France, TPUSA. Those people killed Charlie Kirk, not Tyler Robinson. And again, the only two people that benefit from that is the Muslims, obviously, because they want to make everything about Israel. That's just a fact. They don't really care for America. Most Muslims I've talked to, they don't really care for America. They're more loyal to the country that they came from. Actually, even some Muslim-born people, I feel like they're more loyal to their own country, right? One guy I'm talking to, I did talk to, I was in like 8th grade, and I'm talking to him, and he's a nationalist, right? I'm like, okay, you're a nationalist, but he's a nationalist for Turkey. And a lot of people are nationalists for Palestine. And great, you want Palestine to be a country? Sure, great. I'm with you. I'm against Israel. I want a two-state solution, as the Pope said. Two-state solution. But the problem is here, they're more alliance to their own nations. They don't see themselves as Americans, which I don't think they are. That can go into the whole thing about that, who an American actually is. If you're an immigrant, you're not an American. But they're not loyal to America. The Somalians are not loyal to America. They're more loyal to Al-Shabaab. That's a fact. They defraud, right? They're more loyal to their own nations. And they only care about Israel. They only care about Israel. They only care about Israel because they're attacking Gaza and they're attacking Palestinians. The only reason. That's the only thing they care about. And so that's why they team up with the left, because the left is just anti-Israel. That's the only reason. And and what the Muslims are going to do is, one, they can lie for the sake of Islam, right? People forget about that. They can lie for the sake of Islam. And what happens to that is this. and this has been facts in history. This is what happened in Iran, 1979 revolution. They took over. They worked with the leftist secular governments, and then they killed them all. And that's happened so many times in history. They'll just kill them. That's what they're trying to do. I mean, that's a fact, right? And I wouldn't trust Muslims that say that they're LARPing left. They're LARPing. They're not actually left wing. They just know this is the path of least resistance because the right is more favorable to Christianity, and they're pro-Israel, which is another thing, right? But they also know the left is more gullible, and the left is more weaker in some senses, right? They're more gullible. They will, for some reason, think that Islam is on their side, and they'll also be okay with mass Islamic immigration, which will help them take over America and take over Western nations. So they have to stand with the left because the right doesn't want that. Trump has put Muslim travel bans. He's also deported a lot of Muslim immigrants. He's came out Somalians. It's a passive least resistance for the Muslims. Then you have the left, who pretty much just got off scot-free, right? Hassan Piker, Destiny, celebrated Charlie's death, and they said some evil things like Destiny blamed Trump for the death, and he says the reason you have to tone down the temperature. Oh my gosh. Then you have Hassan Piker saying that we need to, the blood of the capitalists need to bleed, the streets need to bleed red of their capitalist blood. So they got off scot-free, and everyone else that celebrated Charlie's death got off scot-free. Scot-free. And actually, if you don't celebrate Charlie's death and you're actually calling out the evil amongst these social media platforms, you get flooded in the comments by bots and evil people that have no morality, right? You can't tell me you have morality after celebrating that, right? You can't tell me you have any human empathy at all, right? So those are the only two people that benefit, and actually it's our enemies. As Christians, Muslims are our enemies, right? Whether you like it or not, they are enemies of us. Now, I know Jesus says love your enemies, but they are our enemies. We have enemies as Christians, right? Look what they do to us in Muslim nations. If you look at Christian nations, which I think is America, the Western world, we treat them with so much graciousness. And then in Muslim areas, they murder us, they jump us, right? In terms of in Iran, in Saudi Arabia, in a lot of these countries, you're not even allowed to have a church. It's a Muslim theocracy, pretty much. You don't see that in Christian nations because Christian nations are just really complicit. Now, I'm not saying that we should go and kill all Muslims. I'm not saying that. I'm not even saying that we should ban freedom of religion. I'm okay with that, right? I'm just saying that the double standard. And then, just going back on it, these conspiracy theorists, which if you watch again, you hear a lot what you said. I just didn't think of this. In terms of after watching Nick, I was at the gym, this makes a lot of sense. I was screwing back home. And yeah, this makes a lot of sense. This makes a ton of sense. That the conspiracy theorists like Tucker Carlson, Jake Shields, Candace Owens, Dan Bilzerian, the only people that are benefiting from this is the left and the Muslims who are our enemies. The left celebrate Charlie's death, got off scot-free. The Muslims trying to pretty much take over our nation. And it's facts that they're trying to take over our nation. Again, I can go into all of that. And I know they get taken out of context. But besides the point. Those are the only two people that benefited from us not attacking or actually Candace Owens' lies and Tucker Carlson's lies about who killed who. And the thing is, after 9/10, just say hypothetically Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson didn't exist, or they didn't go and yap about these theories. Well, what could have happened is this. Everyone that celebrates Charlie's death could have been ostracized. You weaponized the DOJ against these people. And the left will have cried about it, of course, but they're also double standard kings. They did it to the J6ers. Trump has every right to weaponize the DOJ. Every right. And we actually want them to do that because the thing is, Biden attacked the J6ers. And even the innocent ones, he attacked them. He went after them with no due process. Right? That is evil. Is evil. And so Trump has every right to weaponize the DOJ. And he should. He should have been weaponizing the DOJ against the ICE protesters who were impeding ICE investigations. He should have impeded or used the DOJ to target the people that celebrate Charlie's death. He should have done it. And that's because, as the right, we need to have some standards here, right? We've been getting bullied the entire time. Trump was supposed to switch that. We've been getting bullied. The right just concedes to every point of the left. And those people that were all smiling and happy about Charlie's death and celebrated and sang on the curbs that they popped Charlie in the neck, well, those people could have been frowning. They switched that smile pretty I don't want to curse, pretty fucking quick. Yeah, pretty fucking quick. They switched that smile pretty quick and ruined their entire lives, because these people should never have the power to even, these people should not have the privilege to get in power ever again. Never. The left, after what they've done to our nation in terms of like mass immigration and gay marriage and pretty much just ruining Christian society as we know it, that, and after what they did after 9/10, they never deserve an ounce of power ever again. But I can't say the right's that much better, but they don't deserve power ever again. Sure, am I cheering for the Democrats in 2026? Yes, because I want them to hurt fans. I want them to hurt the Trump administration. But if they win in 2028, that's what all matters. If they win in 2028, that's the dark ages, man. It's the dark ages. It's going to be awful. They're going to come after the right-wingers, right? They're going to open the border. They're going to give mass amnesty. And it's going to be like, wow. Yeah, that's rough. So, yeah, it's like uniting with these people is also impossible. With Tucker Carlson's like, unite. We got to unite with them. Unite. America needs to be united. And every these people that are LARPing about uniting. Fuck that. That's why I said it. Fuck that. Never in my life. Jesus says, come to bring a sword. We need to bring a sword. Now, I'm not calling for physical violence, but I'm calling for we need to conquer the left. And we're never going to do it. And in an alternate world, the left would be conquered after Charlie's death. In an alternate world where these people are not making these dumb conspiracy theories for money. You know, Charlie could have been, you know, his death could have been forgiven. Not necessarily forgiven, but like his death could have been, and the people that celebrate his death could pay the reparations. But never happened, right? So, yeah, that's what I want to talk about that. And it's rough. It's rough. And it's another missed opportunity that Trump had and the right had to further the war that we have in this country. And I would say this: I'd rather have a civil war than unite with the right, than the left. I would never unite with them ever in my life, ever. And I've been saying this ever since when I got into politics after Trump's death. Wow, what am I saying today? After Charlie's death, and I've been saying this, that I would never unite with them, ever, because of what I saw a couple days afterwards. Right? Not even mourning. Right? Not even night. You don't even have to mourn. I respect the people that say, I didn't like him. I'm not mourning his death, but he should not have died. Like, that is, I can understand that, because if like Obama died, I don't respect him. Right? I don't respect him, but I don't think he should have gotten killed. And that's the same thing with Obama. But, you know, the double standard the left has, if we celebrate Obama's death, oh my gosh. Imagine if a Democrat was in power and we celebrated someone's death like they did with Charlie. They would rounded us up and put us all in jail without due process, like they did to the J6ers. It's a fact. The left don't care. They just want to conquer. And what we see from the right is that we concede everything. And this is going to come to my last point, is that the right concedes everything. The right conceded gay marriage. We conceded mass immigration. We conceded tariffs or free trade. We conceded transgenderism and LGBTQ ideologies. We conceded abortion. We conceded everything. Everything. We keep conceding. The left's like, it's like a tug of war, and the left keeps pulling, and the rope just keeps, like, the right just keeps letting go of the rope, and to the point that we have no rope, and we're like always on defense. We're always on defense. We're never on offense. We're never accusing the left, because I feel like our accusations go nowhere. They don't. So yeah, I'm tired of being on defense. I'm tired of trying to say that we need to unite with these people. It's not possible. One, we're too we're too far ideologically, but in another sense, they're just evil people, right? So yeah. Anyways, that's about what I gotta say. It's almost 30 minutes, and I'm lightheaded as hell. But yeah, pop in for the Iran debate. It should be around 9 o'clock. Yeah, pop in for that, and yeah, thank you guys for watching. It's truly a blessing to do this every single day, and God bless you all.